I can get. Hello, everyone. I am Tracy DeMario, and I am the Superstar Director for the Scented Bliss family. And I am super excited that you guys have decided to join us tonight so that we can have some fun and learn how we are going to make our December spectacular. Okay, so my first question is, and you can use the chat or a show of hands, and that is, who likes money? Anyone? Okay, I think everybody might have raised their hands. So that's good. I think I saw maybe one person didn't, and that's okay too. If you have too much, those that raise their hands would be happy to take some off your hands. So, oh, I do need to mute everyone. Let me do that real quick. Sorry. Okay, it's now muted. Perfect. Okay, so tonight what we want to talk about is how we're going to make December fantastic. So there's this little thing that seems to get into some people's heads that there are certain months that are great to be Scentsy. There's some months that are okay to be Scentsy, and some months that I can just take off and not really worry about it because no one is spending money. And I want to tell you right now, that's 100% false. I know, in fact, we had a director years ago that promoted during the month of December and one that promoted the month of January. So there is never a month where you cannot have a fantastic month. There's never a month that you can't beat your year over year from last year's month. There's never a month that you cannot promote. The only reason that doesn't happen is because you choose not to show up and to do the things. So we're going to talk through my top 10 ways to host and or ways to get PRV, some of which are like, well, I already know this, or I already know that. Well, I got a new challenge for you. So there was a time, and actually still pretty true. There was a time when I was trying to lose 10 pounds, and I knew that if I cut that sugar out of my diet, I would probably lose those 10 pounds. But I chose not to. I chose not to do it. I knew what to do to lose the weight. I just chose not to do it. Many of you on here are going to know these things I'm going to talk about. You've just chosen not to do it. Maybe because it was hard, maybe because it was uncomfortable, maybe because you just thought you wouldn't be good enough or capable. And I'm here to tell you, there's not one thing I'm going to share that all of you guys cannot be successful at doing if you get out of your own way and commit to doing it. So that's what I want to have happen before the end of this Zoom. I want you all to commit to a minimum of 5 of these things that we're going to discuss, that you're going to do it. That is, if you really say you like money, then there's going to be work involved, because I have yet to find the magic answer of how money just comes in every month without any effort or any work. So there's going to be some. So the first, let's talk about this. Host. Okay, that seems obvious. Let's be real. This is the month of December. It's probably for most people one of the busiest months. Everybody is going every which way. There's all these holidays parties, there's things happening. So traditional home parties may not be easy to secure, but we are Scentsy. We don't have to have traditional home parties. There's lots of ways to host. Probably 2 that might be really ideal right now, or 2 or 3 actually, would be like, consider a box party. I recently shared it. It's similar to a bag party, only it can be like use a whiff box or something similar. Put your catalogs, your order forms, find somebody that you know that works outside of the home and ask them to take that. If they get the 200, fantastic. They now get the host rewards. If they don't, you tried and they tried. Another way to do thing is a 6-pack text party. So this is not a hard thing. There's a document. It's under, I believe, under host, in the guide under host, for 6-pack parties, where simply people can text their friends and family members to secure 6-packs. 7 6-packs is a party. 7 6-packs. Everybody right now, it wants their house to, I think probably every other order I've had in the last 10 days are people wanting their house to smell like Christmas, most of which are saying, just pick me some holiday scents. They don't even care what they are. They just trust me to pick them. So people are wanting wax. Remember, as Scentsy consultants, we have to make it easy for them to buy Scentsy, because there is fragrance everywhere. Okay, they can go to Costco, they can go to Walgreens, they can go to everywhere and buy fragrance, but they have to come to a Scentsy consultant to buy Scentsy. We have to make it as easy as possible for them to buy from us. So 6-pack text parties are fantastic. So that's another way. I want to challenge you guys to have an open house. Who here has already had an open house? Who's done that before? Anybody? Anybody had an open house? Okay. Open houses. These are perfect. These are great. You don't have to have a lot of product. If you got a kit, that's fine. The idea is to bring people in, to share the products, to demo the products, to talk about the products. And what happens next is people want the products. So have an open house. You don't have to plan this 3 weeks out. You can have one this weekend. So just something to think about. I know people that for whatever reason, recently, one of my team members, she actually used a clubhouse. She had a little clubhouse in the subdivision she lived in. And she did it with another person who didn't sell Scentsy. They sold, what was it? I don't even remember the company. I think it was Mary Kay. Together, they did an open house at their clubhouse. So they each invited their friends and their family members at the same time. And so they had some cross, some of her people wanted to buy some of her stuff and vice versa. It worked out really great. Neither one of them had a great space and or wanted to clean their house for the open house. It worked out great. So think outside of the box and find a way to do an open house. You can even do a virtual open house. If you just really cannot get people and do that whole face-to-face thing, if you live in a town of 20 and the next town is, 60 miles away, do a virtual open house. That's always a possibility as well. Pop-up businesses. So this is a conversation I've had with some of you guys. So all of you guys have an insurance agent. You probably have groomers, hairdressers, doctor's office. You've got, we all have people that we've done business with, some for many, many years. If you've been giving them money and doing business with them, why should they not do business with you? Have you asked them if you could do a pop-up? Is there a time this month when I could come in and spend 1 to 2 hours and just set up a simple display and share Scentsy? And as a perk, your office is going to smell amazing while I'm there. You're literally just sharing. I'm not asking you to go set up and necessarily sell cash and carry. Just be there to share. This is how we grow our customer base. And what we know to be true never fails. People are like, oh my gosh, I needed a Scentsy consultant. Oh, wow, I actually need some wax. My mini warmer doesn't work anymore. My dog broke it. I need a new mini warmer. Things come when you show up and when you're sharing. So find some people to do some pop-ups with. Okay, a buddy drive. I am so excited about so many of you guys here in Scented Bliss family that are doing buddy drives. Some of you are doing them independently. Others are working together. Oh my gosh, it's so great to see something that Orville and Heidi, the owners of our company, they have always taught us to be generous, generosity to give more than you take. And it is so cool to see some of you guys so successful with your buddy drives. If you have no idea what a buddy drive is, guess what? You can go to the Scented Bliss Facebook group and search buddy drive, and you're going to find information and training. If you're intimidated by the thought of doing it yourself, then that's okay too, because there's other consultants that are doing them. You can join in on their efforts. There's a way that you can do a buddy drive. Now, it's going to generate PRV. It's going to grow your customer base. And most importantly, you are giving to your community and you're practicing generosity, which what better time to do that? And just a little takeoff of the whole buddy drive thing. I've known several of my SSD friends that have done sponsor a senior. Some of them have done it through our body line and others do it with fragrance flowers. So there's other things that you guys can do that's going to generate PRV for you. But more importantly, you're going to be giving back to your community. So that is one as well. And you don't have to write all these down. I will share these when I post the recording, I can post these in the comments too. All right, so follow up. I know this is not a new term that any of you guys have never heard before. We talk about follow-up, but I will tell you, I typically have 5 to 10,000 PRV most months, and the majority of my PRV, most people think it's events, the majority comes from follow-up. I do the events, I get those those sales, but they're not one-time sales for me. By doing my follow-up, much more comes from that. So there's lots of ways to do follow-up. If you don't have a follow-up system, we have resources for that too. There's great trainings in the training center as well. But I assure you, if you are disciplined about your follow-up, you're going to increase your PRV. And that is something that can be done no matter what day, what month it is. Bring Back My Bar early access. So for those of you guys that aren't familiar with Bring Back My Bar, it is a campaign program that Scentsy offers twice a year. It's going to be coming live in January. So that's when it's available to our customers. As a consultant, we have many, many consultant perks. One of which is we can get the entire bundle. So one of all the bars, early access, which is available right now. You get one of each of the bars. And you can do that by adding it to a party order, or you can do an individual order and you can add it to an individual order. So you're going to get 127 PRV now, right now. So that's going to help. And that is going to give you PRV for January, because if you utilize that for marketing purposes, you will have that opportunity to share these out. You can make testers, you can make samples. Some people keep them whole and they just go around and share them with their past hosts. A lot of them, I know several of you guys are great about putting together host packets with the Bring Back My Bar samples. And you guys have hosts that just want to share the Bring Back My Bars. And so there's so many opportunities. So if you can, get that Bring Back My Bar early access and get that going so that you can get busy with that. Gifts. This seems like an obvious one, but I want to go back to this. I talked to you guys about utilizing people that you've done business with. Here's what we know to be true too. Your insurance agent, if he has staff, do you think he's getting them a gift? I'm going to guess he probably is. If your hairdresser has staff, do you think she's going to get them a gift? I'm going to guess she probably is. If you know someone that owns a construction company and he has employees, do you think he's going to get his employees a gift? I'm going to guess he probably is. So why shouldn't it be Scentsy? Are you making it known how easy it is to gift Scentsy and how and what you can do with Scentsy as gifts? I was just having this conversation with a team member yesterday about the Whiff Box. The Whiff Box is phenomenal. She was talking with someone who said they budget typically around $50 for their employees. What was she thinking? What did she have in mind? And I said, I would do the Whiff Box. The Whiff Box this month, plus add a mini fan. Perfect gift for $50. Excellent gift, because it gives them a sampling of things. And the reason I say add the mini fan, number one, it makes it $50. But secondly, it also, because they get a pod so far, at least we know to be true. In the December Whiff Box, there's a pod, and they don't if they don't have Scentsy, they wouldn't know what to do with it. And the mini fan will easily fit in the existing Whiff Box contents as it is. So just an idea, if they want to spend $50 or Whiff, and they come beautifully packaged, they're nice. All they got to do is put a bow around them and they're going to look fantastic. So make sure that you guys are doing that. Number 8, now this one I want you guys to all hear me, is fundraisers. So I want you to think about this. I just wrapped up a fundraiser for November. I am still working hard at sending out my messages, trying to get one secured for December. I purposefully always start my fundraisers on the 15th of the month, 13th to the 15th, purposefully. And then I try to wrap them up usually on the 29th of the month, purposefully. And so hear me out. So yes, it is Christmas time. It's Christmas break. What better time to have a fundraiser out when people are gathering, when they're going to see their aunts, their uncles, their cousins, their brothers, all of their people to purchase from their fundraiser. Think about that, guys. That's a perfect 2-week window for people to have those fundraising packets and to be sharing them and for collecting orders. So excellent time. It doesn't matter if it's Christmas or not Christmas. In fact, it's to your advantage in this particular case. So secure a fundraiser. All right, next up. And they don't have to be whole schools. That's another misconception. I've had people say, oh, I don't know anybody that works at a school. I don't have kids. Nobody said it needs to be a school. I have a friend that just closed a wrestling club fundraiser for $1,000. It's $1,000 wrestling club fundraiser. I did a swim and dive team fundraiser 2 years ago. I think it ended around $700 and some dollars. There was 11 participants, 11 people on the swim and dive team. Hey, I wasn't going to turn that away. I was thrilled to have that 700 PRV. That's fantastic. So it does not have to be some big organization or big school. It can be small. Number 9, spouses. Okay, so your spouses, partners, here's what we know. Here's the reality for most. I'm not trying to say everyone. Many struggle with purchasing, with shopping. They don't care to shop. They're not good at shopping. They don't want to shop. They certainly don't want to gift wrap. Many struggle with this. So if you have coworkers, if you work outside the home and you have coworkers that happen to be males, It's a great way to let them know you can take care of their shopping. How much would you like to spend? $50? I have the perfect gift. You have a whiff box and a mini fan. You put a bow around it. Here you go. You can now give this to your wife, and she's going to think you're the most fantastic husband on the planet. So if you do have those opportunities, if you have like a brother-in-law's, same kind of deal. Make it easy for them to shop Scentsy. Okay. I don't typically offer gift wrapping just because, well, they'd want a refund. It's online. But many of you guys are actually very talented and creative, or you could even pay the neighbor. I don't know, trade them some Scentsy for to gift wrap your packages. That's a good problem to have, but just something to think about. Okay, here's number 10. Your sales reports. I want each and every one of you guys. I told you I want you to pick at least 5. This one should be on every single person's list. I want you to spend time with your sales reports. You're going to go to your workstation. You're going to go to the reporting tab. You're then going to go to sales reports. And I've got some little things right now that are happening that you guys can utilize. I want you to go and I want you to look at the flowers. Anybody who's ever purchased a flower from you, if they've ever purchased a flower, that's a great time to say, oh my gosh, I remember you purchased a flower in June. I have to show you the whiff box this month. We have a special exclusive flower offering in our whiff box this month. See how that goes? See how easy that conversation flows? You're sharing something that they hopefully and they loved and that they have an interest in. Next is any customer who's purchased the buddies from you in the past, specifically Hamish, Stella, and Scout. If they purchase those full-size buddies, they need the baby buddies. And you're going to have some customers that maybe they're just regular buddy customers. They may not purchase every one, but they purchase several from you a year. They need to know about these baby buddies. You need to be having those conversations. And you can do that on the sales reports by listing which specific product that you're wanting to search. I've got 2 more, one of which is Frozen. Frozen is a previous collection. If you're a new consultant, obviously this might be a little more challenging for you because you don't have a lot of customer history yet, but at least you'll know how and where to do this when you do. But if anybody has purchased any Frozen products from you the first time, then you need to be letting them know, oh my gosh, guess what's back? The Frozen collection. And there's more. We have a new buddy. So I had this happen on a previous LTO with Star Wars. I had gone back through my sales report and I had shared, because at the time we had the Ewok buddy. So I wanted to share the Ewok buddy with all the people who purchased anything Star Wars. And I actually ended up getting 2 more orders, and it wasn't even for Star Wars items. So just because, yes, that's what you're sharing, that's your natural way to start the conversation, more things will generally come from sending out these messages. Doesn't have to just exclusively be what you're sharing that they're going to then say they want. The last one is our warmer incentive of the month. The warmers are just beautiful. If you've not seen them in person, if you didn't have an opportunity to get the warmer of the month and the mini warmer, they are gorgeous. Like pictures don't do them justice. They are really, really pretty. And we've had some warmers in the past that were very similar type of theme. The first one that comes to mind, and this is an older warmer. So again, if you're newer, you may not remember it, but that is the Yukon warmer. The Yukon warmer was a beautiful, really popular warmer from the past. Another one, which I'm now, because I didn't write it down, it's the one that was more recent, kind of that creamy glass with the gold. Was it Nature's Haven? Maybe? Anybody remember that one? I think it's maybe Nature's Haven. Well, anyways, there was another one. So think about any of our like wildlife-y type of products that we've had, Yukon specifically, if you've been around a while, go through, because they're going to love our current warmer and mini warmer. So you want to be sharing them. So that's how you can use those sales reports. And each and every one of you guys really need to make it a habit to be doing that. So that's my top 10. A couple of other things I want to follow up with this, and then we're going to wrap it up here shortly. But a couple things, one of which is follow up. I mentioned it before. I want to give you guys some examples on how and why follow up is really important. End of year, I do a few things. So end of year, I keep a document. Well, I do this all year round. I have a document where I track my customers' purchase history. So I record their name, their address, their phone number, their email, the last date that they purchased from me, I accumulate their PRV. So if they purchased 70 PRV from me and they'd purchased 30 before, that number now becomes 100. Okay. I also track their interests. So if I know they love Hemingway, or I know they love cows, or I have spaces where I keep track of that too. But where I utilize this document now is I can go back through and I can see who are my top 10 customers for 2023. I can sort that document. It's an Excel spreadsheet. I can sort it by amount of purchase, and I've got an accumulative amount that they've spent with me. So I can send a scent circle. I could send a buddy clip. I can send them something and saying, hey, thank you so much. I wanted to let you know that you were one of my top 10 customers for 2023. My family greatly appreciates it. The other thing you can do is include a little card. Let's say someone has spent $1,000 with you in 2023. Then we figure the commission they would have made if they were a consultant. And we can dangle a little carrot and say, and again, in the little thank you, I just make it little. I don't make it, it's not like the first thing they're going to see. Just say, as much as I love you as a customer, I would love to welcome you as a team member too. You would have made this much in 2023 just from your purchases. So I typically will put just a little like business card, little thing in there too, just to let them know, because ultimately I'm all about sharing the opportunity because I want them to be more than just a customer. I eventually want them to become a team member. So that's how I do my follow-up and how I track it. And I always let my customers be my customer the first time they purchase from me. The second time they purchase from me is when I offer them the opportunity. So when they call me again and say, oh my gosh, Tracy, I need another 6-pack of wax, I'm going to say, awesome. I would love to help you. Have you ever thought about being a Scentsy lady? Because you obviously love this stuff. You're back for more. Let's have that conversation. And then I let that go and kind of see where that leads me. And on my document that I mentioned before, I will document that I offered the opportunity in February of 2023, so that I don't also offer, the next week and the next week. I try to space out the times that I will revisit it. But don't get me wrong, I will revisit it, because no doesn't mean never. No just means not right now. So we want to remember that too. Okay, and then I wanted to also just kind of challenge you guys when we talk about I want to talk a little bit about sponsoring, because again, it doesn't matter what month we're in. Sponsoring is something we always want to be proactive and want to be working towards for many reasons. And I had this conversation just the other day with someone, and I think it's really important that we remember it's not always about the money for everyone. I asked everybody if you like money because, well, I like money. But the reality is there's some people that money or not, Scentsy would be a great fit for them, and it would be a blessing. So I want you guys to keep that open mind whenever you are having conversations with people. Is the reality is some people just need a place to belong. They just need people to be with and to be around, to be celebrated and to show up with them. So keep that in mind when you're offering that opportunity. And don't forget, we do have a team training site. We have a new consultant site, as well as a broader site that covers all of the 4 chords and more. So if you're not familiar with those, we have them posted. They are pinned posts on the Scented Bliss Facebook group. You'll go to featured posts. They are both pinned there. So if you're not familiar with them, again, there's a new consultant, and then there's one that covers everything. In fact, in the everything one, we also have the new consultant site built into that as well. So there's 2 places you guys can go and that you can share. And I will tell you, on January the 5th is going to be our next monthly meeting. And Jackie Duran she's our star director in our group. Most of you probably know her. She is going to be doing her annual planathon, and she'll be doing that with all of you guys. So I want you to reserve that date right now, January the 5th. Show up here, same Zoom link, and I want you to participate in that planathon. The planathon is going to help you set your goals and be ready to conquer 2024. So it's really important that you guys mark that date and that you remember to show up. And the other thing I have on my little list, I have 2 things here. One of which is, if you have ever had team members before, you can go to account services and ask them to send you your canceled frontline list. So if you've had team members before, you can call consultant support, or you can do a support ticket with account services and ask them to send you your canceled frontline list so that you can ask them if they would like to reinstate. And I'm just telling you that now, it's just some homework you could be doing. That's things you could be working on, like after the shipping cutoff date, which is the 15th. And you could get yourself ready again for the planathon, because that's just going to be helpful if you had that information. And I wanted to just speak to the 15th of December. So the cutoff for US and Canada is December the 15th. That does not mean it's the cutoff for our business. So really important, guys. I need you guys to hear me. Everybody paying attention. Hello. We are not done. We still do follow up on the 16th of December. We still do follow up on the 17th of December. We still show up. We still share. People still need Scentsy. Now, there are certain people that might be really strapped for cash because they are spending more money on gifts and such. There are also people that has no bearing. It doesn't have any bearing whatsoever. They're still going to buy. Do you think people no longer go to Starbucks because it's the 22nd of December? They have the money to still go to Starbucks. They have the money to still go to the movie theater. They have the money to still, walk into Quick Trip and buy things they don't need, into Costco they don't need. So there are people that still have money to spend on Scentsy. It's just, we need to keep sharing and not close our doors. What happens when we close our doors is it's going to affect you for the next 3 months. When you take off time and you shut your doors and you let your business go stagnant, it's going to catch up with you. And those are the people I'm having conversations with 2 months later. I don't have any sales. I don't have any business. Well, what did you do last week? What did you do the week before? Well, it was summer. Nobody was going to buy. It's January. Everybody spent their money. Wrong answer. Wrong answer. I can pay my bills every single month, no matter what month it is, because I show up and I do the work all the time, not just sometimes. So I want to close you guys tonight with some encouragement. I want you guys again to realize that regardless of what your background is, when you came into Scentsy, how long you've been doing it, whether you're brand new, 10-year veteran, you're essential consultant, or you're a superstar director, we all can do better, and we all can do the things that I shared, those top 10. There's not one thing on there you guys can't do. You might need some additional information. You might need some additional training, but here's the good news. You are a part of the Scented Bliss family. We are a community. We are a community that supports each other. We cheer each other on, and we're here to help you. So please utilize those tools, utilize the resources that we've built for you. And if you really have no idea how and where they are, all of you have an upline director. Reach up to them. If you can't get a hold of your upline director, some of you have a star director. Reach up to them. And if for some strange reason, and I cannot even fathom, that you can't get a hold of either one, all of you have me. Eventually, you get to me. So make sure that you're reaching up. We all want to support you. And I look forward to seeing your month in fantastic.